students to learn and grow live on the airwaves, just like Matt Kibbe.
I've gotten a chance to create a relationship with coaches and teams and learn more from people instead of trying to teach myself something. Gotten an opportunity to expand my knowledge of sports, hone in on my skills as a broadcaster, and learn about equipment in different ways. You get more of a connection with professors as well.
Providing opportunities, growing leadership. The Adrian College Media Production House. Thanks for tuning in. Adrian College is looking for leaders, student athletes with the tenacity to keep the Bulldogs at the top, the forefront, in and out of the classroom. The Bulldogs are looking for talent, character, hard work, grit, leaders who can electrify sold-out crowds, gut out a last-line shift, will their team to victory, hit a grand slam in the bottom of the ninth, and be a part of a legend in the making. Think you have what it takes to become a Bulldog? Visit adrian.edu to learn more.
Bulldog fans, connect with Adrian College TV on social media to be updated when we're broadcasting live, to see highlights, plays of the week, and much more. Adrian College Television is on Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter. ACTV's handle is at Adrian College TV on every form of social media. Thank you for tuning in and subscribing to the home of the Bulldogs, Adrian College TV.
Adrian College is a pinpoint like no other. With our 77 undergraduate degrees, 47 majors, and 21 broad fields of study, Adrian has a one-of-a-kind, hands-on learning experience for everyone. Do you want to visit the campus of Adrian College in person? Visit adrian.edu/campus-visit. Again, that's adrian.edu/campus-visit. Come take in the beautiful facilities at Adrian College for yourself.
If there was one word I was going to use to describe the communication arts program at Adrian College, it would be unique. Students find themselves on the radio, in front of and behind the camera, and directing their own programs. Students learn in a personalized environment that sets them up for a world of opportunities. Are you ready for your moment in the limelight? Learn more about the Rush Communications Center and Adrian College's communications program by visiting adrian.edu today.
I'm Matt Kibbe, the current student body president here at Adrian College. I chose AC because the campus simply feels like home. Everywhere I go, I know the amenities are there to help me succeed and get to the next level in my career. If you want to see what Adrian College has to offer, you can schedule an in-person visit at adrian.edu/campus-visit.
Adrian College has dozens of athletics programs, and winning is a staple on our campus. We have the culture of winning in and out of the classroom. This is a place where young men and women grow into professionals for life. Are you interested in learning more about the Bulldog experience? Visit adrianbulldogs.com and the Recruit Me tab to be recruited to play your sport of choice today. If you have what it takes, you could be a Bulldog in no time.
Adrian College Television would like to give a big thank you to our sponsor, Carlton Lodge of Adrian. Carlton Lodge is sponsoring all ACTV broadcasts during the 2021 to 2022 school year. Located at 1629 West Maumee in Adrian, Carlton Lodge offers comfortable rooms and suites at affordable rates. There's also a heated indoor and outdoor pool, along with a 24-hour fitness center. Thank you for the continued support toward Adrian College Television.
Adrian College is looking for leaders, student athletes with the tenacity to keep the Bulldogs at the top, the forefront, in and out of the classroom. The Bulldogs are looking for talent, character, hard work, grit, leaders who can electrify sold-out crowds, gut out a last-line shift, will their team to victory, hit a grand slam in the bottom of the ninth, and be a part of a legend in the making. Think you have what it takes to become a Bulldog? Visit adrian.edu to learn more.
Adrian College has once again been recognized for its commitment to engaged, experiential education by Colleges of Distinction, a one-of-a-kind guide for college-bound students. While higher education has changed over the past 20 years, Colleges of Distinction's selection process has stayed consistent in accepting only those that adhere to the 4 distinctions: engaged students, great teaching, vibrant community, and successful outcomes. Overlaid in the last few years have been a look into high-impact practices. They believe most critical to the student experience were the kinds of engaging experience that are found at Adrian College. To learn more, please visit adrian.edu.
On Tuesday, April 6, 2021, I was sitting in my office and an email popped into my inbox from someone in your graduating class today. The email said, "Dear President Docking, back in August I had emailed you in regards to the state of the well-being of the campus community during the COVID spike. At that time, I was incredibly anxious about the prospect of spending my senior year of college sitting at my kitchen table in my hometown trying to finish my seminar projects in the event we switched to all online learning. As I type this email now in April, I cannot describe to you the gratitude that my fellow students and I have for Adrian remaining open on campus for the duration of the school year. I wanted to take the time to thank the Adrian College community, the faculty, the staff, for allowing us to have as normal of a year as possible in a world that simply did not want that to happen. I look forward to walking across the stage in May knowing that I was still able to enjoy time with my friends and the Bulldog community during my senior year. All the best, Max Birmingham, class of 2021. Max, you've got to stand up so we can give you a round of applause. For those of us on this stage, today is one of the most exciting days of the year. We love to see the wonder and anticipation in the eyes of our new students, as all of you anxiously await all of the amazing experiences that will define the years ahead.
Ladies and gentlemen, on a beautiful Sunday afternoon, welcome inside the Adrian College production house while we are remotely broadcasting tonight's ACHA D1 National Championship playoff matchup. As we are trying to get things set up here with some faulty Wi-Fi, we're trying to make the most of things happy. We have a previous ACTV employee in Matt Kibbe joining us this afternoon for the broadcast, as he's going to do his absolute best to call this game from halfway across the country. And this is probably one of the most exciting yet nerve-wracking things I think I've ever done.
Alex, you got me?
I hear you, Matt.
Well, we got 20 minutes up on the board, and we're ready to go.
All righty.
Folks, it's the Adrian College Bulldogs taking on the Central Oklahoma Broncos, and we are sitting amongst the crowd in the Adrian section behind the stage for Adrian College TV as we get going and underway. Adrian College controls the opening face-off as we start this first period of action, and we send it back into the offensive zone. Icing called, and we'll see our first off face-off here in 1941 left to go in the first period of play. It's a good game. It's the quarterfinal matchup here in the ACHA National Tournament. We've been doing everything we can to bring you this one. It's been a lot of fun to put together and watch the Adrian College team. They played on Friday. They beat the 13th seed Calvin by a score of 8-1, something they've been able to do all season long against those Calvin Knights. And now they bring in the Central Oklahoma Broncos, who last night on Saturday beat Arizona, the number 11 seed, by a score of 6-1. Adrian in. Sam State takes his shot, squash and setting it up. James to put a bond with it, and one time shot off the field. State starting goaltender. This is Ben Pels. He's the starting goaltender for the Central Oklahoma Broncos. He's played in 18 games this season. He's got 12-6 record, 42 goals against, with a 2.42 goals against average, and a save percentage of 88.5%. Goaltenders in this tournament for the number 6 seed Central Oklahoma Broncos. Shot from the blue line. Then Dakota Bond, another shot from the Bulldogs as Dakota DeBuer is looking for it, not able to get to it. Now Jaron Kent finds it on the far side of the ice. In the near side corner. Good pass for it. Now Dakota Bond gets it back. Settled behind the net. Noah DeCottney is the starting goaltender for the Adrian College Bulldogs. Connor Smith finds it, the leading point scorer for this Bulldogs team. He's already got 71 points on the season, 6 points away from tying the record for points in the season for the Bulldogs. This guy's Post for the stop from the blue line and got hit on his way to finish that. He finds it in the middle of the ice. Post shot in, easy leg pad save for the goaltender. Oklahoma hanging in with the Bulldogs here early. Armstrong with it. Goes over to the far side. Back into the middle, all behind the net. Mott steps up from the blue line. Nathaniel Mott. One of the freshmen here. The head coach there with Fowler steps highly up. Post with it. Down in the middle. Shot off the back side. That shot came from Justin Jamer and back up to Mott. Wrist on the shot attempt from that blue line and sends it back in. Bulldogs have to check up. Oklahoma settling behind their net, trying to bring it into the offensive zone, but they're settled behind and not able to. Taking away at the blue line. Back behind the Broncos, trying to clear it. Now finally able to. Adrian has it as the Cottony sees the puck come bouncing in. And he has to make a glove save with it. We'll see a face-off in the left circle, in the right circle, here at the New England Sports Center. In Marlborough, Massachusetts, the site for the ACHA National Tournament, every single division has been played this weekend. Today, an off day for a lot of the teams, but the Division I teams still getting some action in here in this quarterfinal matchup. Adrian got an off day yesterday. They played on Friday. Also got here on Thursday. It was considered an off day because they had the bye. 17:25 left to go here in this first period of play. Thornton finds it. Thornton tries to get it out. He's got Tyler Spice with him. Tyler Spice back into the middle looking for the stick of Ethan Clemens. Running things it in, knocking it around the board. Henry favors all up for the first time today off the bench. Sebastian Smith finds him in the far side corner. It's back up. Bulldogs trying to get it up to the point area. I really like to operate that offense. There's 15:50 up to go in the first period of play. Audio only broadcast here on ACTV, right on with Hockey TV for the ACHA tournament. Down low, Alfred for Oklahoma had it. Now Dane back in the middle of Sam State. It goes up to Sebastian. Brother Connor sitting on the bench right now, getting ready to come back on. Oklahoma locks it into the offensive zone. Now Dakota Bond just clears it away. Sebastian picks it up, brings it back into the middle. Now it's on the stick of a Bulldog as Sam State delivers a shot and he's off the protected man. So it's a free off. Over 16-13 left to go in the scoring game. Shots on goal for the team so far in favor of Adrian, who serves as the home team. The number 3 Bulldogs, led by head coach Daniel Collins in his 7th season at the helm. 215 wins to his name, only 21 losses. He's won 91% of his games behind the Bulldog bench. Already 4 minutes on here in the first period of play. The third is Julio on the far side. Hands it back behind and uses the cage to his advantage. Now Spencer uses the body, not able to get the puck back with Connor Smith hanging along the half wall. They're going around. Spencer Oklahoma trying to escape their zone. The Bulldogs not letting him. Just back out to the front. Now Mock takes a shot. Looking for Connor Smith deflection. Doesn't get it. Spencer the unusual hit behind the net, trying to get that puck back, not able to, and now Oklahoma gets it out of their zone. Adrian's going to immediately get it back and send it in. Icing called on the Bulldogs. He's going to do really close to that center line. And Connor Smith having a conversation with the linesman about where he was standing when he hit that into the offensive zone. And he said, I was behind the line. The linesman does. The Oregon plays here at Rink 1 in the New England Sports Center. Graciously hosting the ACHA tournament this year. Actually, Central Oklahoma can't control it with as DeJulio finds it. DeJulio into the middle area, uses it as it's poked away by the defensive goalie, the Broncos. 5 minutes gone now here in this first period of play. It's still a scoreless game. These two teams not very familiar with each other. The last time these two teams would have seen each other potentially would have been last year in the national championship. Unfortunately, they both suffered the same loss. Adrian lost to Lindenwood in the semifinal. Central Oklahoma lost to Lindenwood in the national championship game. Back behind. Bulldogs can't get it out. Now on the far side with DeCesare. DeCesare sends it back to Thornton. Thornton, long pass to Jamer. Jamer passes it into the offensive zone on the far side corner. Still not able to get it. Oklahoma has it back. Maria with it. Now back in across the blue line. Oklahoma offside. The Broncos have to step up. They do, and then it goes back on the stick of Brody Thornton. Thornton crossover pass to Dakota Bond. Bond on the left side. Tipped in by Armstrong to go for a team. Attack is on for the Bulldogs. Just settled behind the net where the goaltender Ben Bell screen out and set the fair. Adrian coming into this game 35-2 on the season. Two shootout losses as well. Back in the near side corner. Back up to Dakota Bond. Bond can't hang on to it. Now it's heading in with some speed. Jordan Seguro, and Seguro gets caught offside. The face-off coming all the way back into the neutral zone after Oklahoma felt like they had a chance to get a couple of good shots on goal, but it would be all null and void as a face-off. Ruby. Noah DeCottney's in net for this Bulldog team. He has been sensational this year, even better than he was last year. 26-2 record, actually 27-2 record after the win 2 days ago. Only has given up 38 goals this season, a 1.22 goal against average, and a save percentage of nearly 95%. That's not just in this tournament, that is in the season. He's putting up absolute video game numbers for this Bulldog team, and now even holding the single season win record for this team. 13 minutes left to go here in this first frame of action. University of Central Oklahoma taking on the Adrian College Bulldogs. Adrian trying to get it back. Picked up by Mott on the defensive blue line. Sam State with it. Sitting amongst the crowd here in Rink 1 at the New England Sports Center, the Adrian faithful making the trip all the way out to Boston, hoping for this team to garner their second national championship in a matter of 3 years. Couple extra hits from Oklahoma as Mott has been an enforcer. And saying Mott, the defenseman, has played in 34 games this season. He does have a goal to his credit, but again, known for his defensive abilities on the blue line. This game is over. Team 2 to 12:35 left to go in the first period of play. Huge shout out to our crew back in Adrian, Alex Herman and Megan Abbey working back there. You'll see it more from Alex during the first intermission as well as the second intermission where they'll take over. I believe Reagan Paczowski as well as Emma Corbett are going to be joining them as well. Megan Abbey producing this for us today and sacrificing her phone for this broadcast. So appreciate that as well. 12:10 left to go here in this first period of play. Back behind the net. They're now bringing it back out in the middle. Ronnie Smith can't get it. Now Thornton wrist on the shot attempt from the blue line, but is able to clear it back behind the net. One of the things about the boards here in New England has been the fact that they have been some of the bounciest boards this team has played with all year long. They have been lively, and teams have taken advantage of it throughout the entire tournament. Katani comes out of his net, plays it to the near side. Sky finds it for the Broncos, still trying to battle for it. The Broncos in their road blue uniforms with the yellow trim as well. And Katani voices his opinion to a Bronco as he was coming in to whack at him. Adrian wearing their traditional home uniforms, the all yellow uniforms with the stripes on the top, the black, white, and yellow stripes. Home with the black buckets today. They served as the home team in both games, being the higher seed, so haven't had to pull out the road black just yet. We do know the winner of this game will face Liberty tomorrow in the semifinals. Central Oklahoma, the first time they've had some pressure in the offensive zone. In the near side corner, Desiree has it taken by Dylan Kent. They're still tied up along the board. Long pass up. Armstrong can't be the first one shooting. We'll see a face-off coming all the way back into the Bulldogs' defensive zone. 11-11. Let's go make it work here. Ever so please. Shots on goal 6-4 in favor of the Bulldogs with an offensive zone face-off coming for the Central Oklahoma Broncos. Central Oklahoma 28-7 on the season, 1 shootout loss. Head coach Mike Rivera for the Broncos team, and Coach Gary Bell had nothing but great things to say about Mike Rivera and all he's done. It's his third season at the helm. He took over right before COVID hit in 2020. And last year took the team all the way to the national championship. But let me tell you, it was not an easy climb for them to get to that national championship game. They had one overtime against Indiana Tech, and then in their quarterfinal matchup, it was 5 overtimes against Iowa State, one of the longest games in ACHA history at the national tournament. 5 overtimes before they were able to win that game by a score of 3-2 as Adrian ices another puck and face-off. We're almost halfway through the first period of play and approaching the media timeout. That's one of the differences here with the national tournament. They have implemented the media timeout, so at the under 10 mark, the first whistle, that is an even strength whistle and not on an ice game, the officials will blow the whistle and we'll see a media timeout. Each team will get about a minute to discuss what's been happening so far in the period. Simpson has it centered in. Katani can't get to it. Now it's back in. And you'll see another shot from the far side of the ice by Von Borders. And the Cottonies get the save, and we'll see another face-off. So far, a very clean game. 1:25 left to go in the first period of play. Streaming live on the Adrian College TV YouTube channel. Face-off on the left wing side. A unique setup here for Central Oklahoma. Their face-off was in the left wing circle. They had a shooter all the way in the right wing circle. Back up, Gordon takes a shot. Blocked in front of the net by Kyler Fleck. Henrik Overall finds racing along the middle of the ice. He takes a shot from just entering the blue line and save and cover by Kelp. So face-off coming on the right wing side of the ice. This is spot there for the Bulldogs. Really do like taking face-off some. They've always had a couple of set plays in Kansas State. One of the best ones before that. Got a chance to talk to head coach there about Kansas State. You might get a chance to see that in the intermission report with that report interview that happened yesterday. It was actually happening during the game that Central Oklahoma was playing Arizona, so we had a preview about both teams. That part didn't get cut up for the audio portion, but Coach Sauer said that this team is so good about finishing their checks to Central Oklahoma Broncos, and that is what they're known for. They're known for finishing the body along the board, especially when they've been no stranger to doing that week 12. Mid-afternoon game. The team started at 1:30 right on time. Still 2 more games left to go here at the New England Sports Center in the ACHA Division I quarterfinal matchup. Already one ticket comes to the semifinal with the Liberty Flames taking down the UNLV Rebels. Under 10 to go here in this first period of play. 9:20 to be exact. Central Oklahoma back into the middle of the ice. Still no goals between these two teams. Shot blocked by a diving Brendan Stanko. Bodies on the line for these two teams in the national tournament. Connor Smith is going to find it on the far side, looking for Brendan Stanko, but he didn't have his stick. Able to find it off of the boards, and then he sends a shot on goal from the center line. 8:55 left to go here in the first period of play. First score was back on goal. 8-16 of the Bulldogs, and then another one saved by Ben Kell, who is going to have a tall test in front of him. This Bulldog team averaging 56 shots a game. They scored 288 goals this season. That's good for almost 8 goals per game. It comes in at just about 7.5 goals. And on the other side, defensively, the Bulldogs only giving up about 1.1 goals per game. That trend stayed true last week against Calvin on Friday. An 8-1 victory for the Bulldogs against their conference foe. Back behind. Long pass up to Thornton. Thornton loses it to Nolan. Nolan still has it behind the net. Now he goes into Armstrong. Armstrong into the middle of the ice. Nobody home for the Bulldogs. It's in front of the Central Oklahoma bench. Central Oklahoma going left to right if you're listening at home. Bulldogs going right to left. Nolan behind his own net. Goes to Cameron Armstrong. Armstrong battling. Lifts it up there. Short week here, but it's just barely maybe skimmed it and then lands on the ice. We play on. Into the middle of the ice. The Bulldogs still looking for possession of it. They find it between the blue lines. Thornton loses it though. Now it's on the mistake of Evans. Evans takes a big hit into the board from Brody Thornton, and Brody Thornton not afraid to lay the body down. Running. Trying to get it back. Now Thornton finds it in the air and puts it right back into the ice. High up, and we're going to see our first penalty here in this contest. It's going to be on Central Oklahoma. Michael Morora heading to the box for 2 minutes. He's already served 49 minutes this season, and Brody Thornton is still down. Thornton has the athletic trainer Emily Baldus out to help. So a 2-minute minor here to Morora. There to Julie having a little bit more of a conversation as Brody Thornton is still receiving attention. I didn't get a chance to see exactly what the signal was. But as Brody Thornton receives attention, here with 7:44 left to go in this first period of play, shots on goal 9-6. The power play unit going to be coming out for the Adrian College Bulldogs, and it's been a successful one at that. 35% success rate for the Bulldog power play. As Thornton is able to get up onto his feet on his own power, and then he helps off the ice. And we'll pay attention to see if Cody Thornton comes back out to play. Holding was the call on Morera. And now the Bulldog power play can get to work. Back in, backside shot from Tyler Fife. He was waiting in the right wing faceoff circle and just whipped on the pass. Fife still has it now. In the far side corner, back up to Bond at the right point. Bond goes back to Fife, down low. In the right circle, back up to Bond. To the left side with Smith. Rifles one and a save by Ben Kells. Connor Smith had all the time in the world for that one-timer. No Oklahoma Bronco was in the vicinity to stop that shot. The only one that could was Ben Kells, and he does just that. So a minute 36 left to go on the man advantage for the Bulldogs. 7:20 left to go in period play. Shots on both ends is 6 in favor of Adrian, and the Central Oklahoma, the penalty kill unit, about average. A 78% kill rate for this team. And they'll finally get their first kill here 35 seconds into the kill. Bond has it behind the net. Bond will bring it up the middle of the ice. Goes to the third of Jewel into the offensive zone. Settles at the blue line, leaves it for Connor Smith. He's able to help him sink, and then he slides it right in front of the Oklahoma bench, but it's going to bounce outside the zone. Bulldogs have to come all the way back out to the neutral zone to check up. Long pass into the middle of Stanko. Stanko goes to the right point. Back over to the near side point with Connor Smith. Smith puts on a move. Gets around a couple of defenders, but then gets tied up between three of them. There was a strip in the middle, but it doesn't get called. Bond back over to Smith. Smith, long pass up to Stanko. Go on the blue line, waiting for his team to go for a change. Back into the middle. Shot in, struck by Connor Smith, and nothing going for the Bulldogs as Ben Kelch stands tall. Nolan in the middle of the ice. That's the blue line. Has it tipped over. Now it's in the far side corner. 35 seconds left to go on the man advantage for the Bulldogs. 6:15 left to go in the first. Sebastian Smith, the extra forward on. Goes over to Sheldon Nolan, the captain and lone defenseman on the power play unit. Long stretch pass to the far side. On the board, Sebastian Smith has to stop. Locked him in. Central Oklahoma able to get it out of the zone. Big hit in front of the Oklahoma bench. 10 seconds left to go on the advantage. Launched out. Dylan Kent finds it. They're still tied up. 2 minutes cleared off, and the Bulldogs are now 0 for 1 on the power play today. Another shot in front. Nothing going so far for the Bulldogs as Ben Kells has stood tall in net for the Central Oklahoma Broncos. The Broncos are going to get called for an icing. No, it's called off. The Cotton plays it. Goes to the far side in the corner. Now it's in front of the Bulldog bench. 5:20 left to go here in this first period of play. 13-6 the shots on goal. It's slowly between the Bulldogs and Broncos here in the ACHA Men's Division I quarterfinal. You're listening on ACTV. Puck lifted. Back over into the middle with Mott. Mott gets hit for a moment. Now he's got Simpson on the boards, and Bulldogs still looking for a call as we keep getting whacked. Gamer sends it over. Icing called off. Broncos get it back, and with 4:40 left to go, they'll see a cover by their goaltender, Callis, for the smart one as it was a play that left back behind into the front of the net. Cody Thornton, for everyone at home, is back on the bench. He's leaning over the ice, but looks like he's okay. We'll see when his next shift is. Took a hard spill on that penalty. Now the Bulldogs on the face-off, unable to get it back. This one's going to hit off the roof of the New England Sports Center, and we'll see another one in the same spot, the right wing face-off circle, and the Bulldogs have a little shot at a face-off win into the offensive zone side. Face-off one on the right wing side. Back up the zone side. Sends it over to Hatcher right in front of the boys. Now right inside. Hatcher finds it up the right point. Right at the blue line in front of the Oklahoma bench. Still can't just place it into the offensive zone. Hit off the netting for a moment. It looks like they were going to let it play on, but it did hit that protected netting, so really will see a face off. This is going to come all the way back out of the offensive zone for the Bulldogs and into the neutral zone. It will be a face off on the right side, right in front of the Central Oklahoma bench. Scoreless affair here with 4 minutes and 20 seconds left in the first period of play. Both teams have been back and forth. Central Oklahoma's had a couple of chances, and the Bulldogs have had a couple of chances, but the goaltenders have done well so far. They're against the Dakota Bond. Next by the body of McCann, and we see a face-off coming. .409 left to go in the first period of play. Face-off being taken by Clement. He's going to go up against the likes of Redmond. Central Oklahoma wins the face-off. Now we're with it. This is tipped up and into the netting. We'll see another face-off here as Bulldogs back on their defensive heels right now. I'll go for a wholesale change as well. Central Oklahoma will keep their line out. That Wells and Redmond will go. The official of one of the line Broncos, so fresh skaters all out for both teams. 4:01 left to go in this first period of play. Back in. Bulldogs win the opening face-off. They have a hand pass call, so it's going to bring it all the way back out. The hand pass is on Central outside of the offensive zone for them. Let's see another one. There's a penalty call. Mateo DeJulio is heading to the box. 2 minutes. A holding call was charged, and it's going to be a 2 minute. Head coach Arias Ellis is coming. It's great out to the bench to get an explanation for this. So 2 minutes as Tyler Fife is going to go to the box and serve the penalty. Was it a delayed green call is the question. There was a hand pass signal, and then now suddenly the Bulldogs are on the penalty kill. Face-off violation was the call with the hand pass off the face-off, and on that 2 minute minor. And Central Oklahoma can't control the opening face-off. On the man-to-man, now Hatcher with it. Hatcher puts on a move, backhand shot saved by Kelly. Bulldogs short-handed for the next minute and 45 seconds. 3:40 left to go here in the first period of play. Shot in and a dump in for the Oklahoma Broncos. Broncos trying to get it back into the middle of the ice. Guerrera with it. Long pass into the far side on the boards. That half walk and state over the penalty kill unit. Really the energy bunny for this Bulldog team. Back with Central Oklahoma. Broncos held with an H. Has possession of it. Bufke had it. Broke Armstrong's ankle for a moment. And now, they'll go for a change. Central Oklahoma bringing on fresh skaters. Adrian will as well. Already a minute killed off in the man-at-man. Under 3 to go here in this first period of play. Back into the near side, and Central Oklahoma is offside. Coming up at the first intermission, we'll have Alex Herman back in Adrian at the Media Production House. He'll be joined by Emma Corbett and Reagan Piskowski. They'll talk about what they've seen here in this first period of play and why this team is scoreless so far, because the Bulldog offense has not been able to get going. On the penalty kill right now, the County's way out of his net, and he clears it out himself. Shots on goal 14-7. The Broncos haven't really been able to muster much here as Mott gets another clear and it's right on goal. There's a good clear by the freshman, Nathaniel Mott. 2:20 left to go here in the first period of play. Bulldogs and Broncos tied. No goals for either team. Thornton finds it. Thornton along that half wall. Still battling for possession. Nolan now helping out. 3 Broncos, 2 Bulldogs. 8 seconds left on the man advantage. They look up at the time to see how much time they got to kill off. Henrik Overall will get the final clear, and the Bulldogs have successfully killed off their first penalty. Both teams now 0 for 1 on the power play. Central Oklahoma really couldn't muster even a shot. 1:45 left to go here in the first period of play. Bulldogs in the offensive zone. Sanko to Smith. Smith along the half wall. Back over to Bond. Bond with it. Richter from the blue line. It's blocked and goes off the defensive netting. We'll see a face-off with 91 seconds left to go in the first period of play. Both these teams won their conference regular season and their conference tournament. The tournament where they got the automatic bid. For the Bulldogs, it's their 13th consecutive year making it to the championship tournament. For the Broncos, their 13th overall appearance, not consecutive. Connor Smith, long cross-ice pass to Brandon Stanko. Stanko goes up to the Julio, and the Julio taps it in on goal. Ben Pelt will make an easy save there in the cover. We'll see a face-off here with 1:15 left to go in this first period of play. Shots on goal now 15-7. Bulldogs going to go through a couple of changes. All new set of forwards on the ice. Nate takes the draw, wins it back. Bond tries to keep it at the blue line. He does. Now Sebastian Smith gets it. Some help along the forward. This one's going to come all the way into the seating notes is on the ice. Bond has 1 minute left to go in the first period. Bond has it in their own zone. Long pass up, chasing after it. Here's Moore. So Rocco shot to the side of the net and a save by the goaltender. Tells it was a crack down there from the Bulldogs. It was a quick shot off the pad. Tells just had to make sure his body stayed on the post, which it did. Welsh has done a really good job facing the Bulldog offense. They've had a couple of chances, but this game continues to go back and forth. Mentioned Central Oklahoma played yesterday against Arizona. That was the first game of the tournament. They beat the number 11 seed by a score of 6-1. 35 seconds left to go before we send it back to Adrian for our intermission report. Back in, now Thornton is back on the ice as icing called off with the skaters reaching their surface. Fouls out. Now up. Armstrong. Puts on a move. Long penalty and delayed call coming with 13 seconds left. Bulldogs heading back to the power play. Right before the period comes to an end, a tripping call on Akeem Shura, the defenseman for Central Oklahoma. And this could be a big call here as the Bulldogs will at least get 14 seconds here in the first period of play, and then they'll carry it over for the rest of their power play in the second. Stanko on the half wall, near side. Bond steps up from the blue line. 5 seconds left. Oklahoma's going to get it clear, and we're going to head to the first intermission. This game, scoreless in Boston. Bulldogs and Broncos doing battle here at the New England Sports Center. And both goaltenders starting off strong here in this first period of play. The Bulldogs will take a man advantage for the first minute and 46 seconds of this second period. As for us here in Boston, we'll send it back to Alan Thurman and the rest of the crew at the Adrian College Media Production House for the first intermission.
Thanks, Matt. Looked like it was a pretty even, tightly played first period of 20 minutes out in Boston, the national tournament for the Adrian College Bulldogs ACHA D1 team facing off this afternoon against the University of Central Oklahoma. An unfamiliar result after 20 minutes of play, I'd like to say, at least. Normally the Bulldogs are really used to leading by large margins after, 20-minute periods, but this one is staying scoreless, so a lot of good things on both sides. We've seen some penalties, and the Bulldogs at that as well will start off the second period on the power play. It was Artem Shura who took a tripping call at 19:45 in the first, so that will give the Bulldogs plenty of time to start off the second frame 5-on-4. But overall, I think we've really seen some pretty good hockey back on both sides. The Bulldogs dominating play. The shots sitting at the moment are 15 for the Bulldogs and 7 for the Bronchos. So the Bulldogs dominating that stat category and looking strong through that first frame. What did you see there, Reagan?
I mean, like you said, it's not used to seeing the Bulldogs come out and it be a 0-0 game. So a little diversity for them and coming back into the game and hopefully net the first one. Definitely, especially the home games that we watched this year after the first, like you said, it's very surprising to see that.
I think it's interesting to note, too, this is the first time that the Bulldogs and the Bronchos have faced off against each other. They've never played an ACHA D1 game against one another. The Bronchos, of course, last year making it all the way to the national championship final, unfortunately dropped that game to Lindenwood University, who at the time definitely were the better team, but easily you can say that the Bronchos have a strong roster and are really looking to make a hard push to get back to where they were last year. So giving the Bulldogs a really good test and a run for their money this afternoon out in Boston. What'd you see after 20 minutes, Matt?
Well, it's been a game of back and forth. The Bulldogs have been battling offensively, but you know what I'm really impressed with is the goaltending that Central Oklahoma has brought so far with Ben Kelly. He's been a goaltender that has, in some games, struggled, but so far in this one, he's seen everything clearly. The Broncos have done a really good job of creating open lanes for their goaltender to see the puck and make sure it's stopped. The other side, for Adrian, they've been on a couple of defensive shifts where Central Oklahoma has done a good job of getting them out of position. They had to rely on Noah Nakatni to make a couple of big saves. It's been really impressive. And this is right where Central Oklahoma would want this team to be. Obviously, Adrian wants to do a little bit more work. You guys have talked about it, not used to being scoreless going into the first intermission, but Adrian on their heels a little bit, trying to get back into this game.
It's going to be interesting to see how Coach Gary Astalos is going to adjust the strategies in the locker room while we wait for the start of the second period. But like you mentioned, we'll go back to the netminder this afternoon. For the Bronchos, it's Ben Kelsch who's getting the start. Coming into the game, has a .242 GAA as well as an .885 save percentage. He's played 18 games for the Central Oklahoma squad this season, 12 wins, 6 losses, and no ties. So he's certainly been in the net quite a lot this season, has had a pretty strong season, and 15 shots in just 20 minutes of play is a lot to see as a goaltender, especially in playoff hockey. Be very interested to see how that is going to affect him and his team going forward.
Well, remember, Alex, that the Bulldogs, they average 56 shots per game, so this is a testament to what the Bulldogs were able to do. 15 shots in the first 20, like I said, really impressive considering that Central Oklahoma only had 7 to their credit, but they did have that power play where they couldn't get anything going. That's the really interesting thing is they had a chance to try to take advantage of a Bulldog mistake, and they weren't able to.
That is right, too, and the power play percentage coming into the game for the Bronchos, a 30.11% conversion rate, while on the other side, it's the Adrian College penalty kill that's at a prompt 89.29%, so they're sitting really strong, and both sides have good special team units, and it's going to be interesting to see how they work off against one another. Obviously, as we mentioned earlier, the Bulldogs will start the second period on the power play, so they have about 1 minute and 50 seconds to look to get something done at the start of that frame, 5-on-4, and we'll see what's going to happen. And with that, we'll take a step aside just for a second. We'll cut to a quick commercial and return with some more info after the break.
As you anxiously await all of the amazing experiences that will define your college years, you stand today, students, on the threshold of one of the most magical times in your life.
Adrian College is looking for leaders, student athletes with the tenacity to keep the Bulldogs at the top, the forefront, in and out of the classroom. The Bulldogs are looking for talent, character, hard work, grit, leaders who can electrify sold-out crowds, gut out a last-line shift, will their team to victory, hit a grand slam in the bottom of the ninth, and be a part of a legend in the making. Think you have what it takes to become a Bulldog? Visit adrian.edu to learn more.
Adrian College is a pinpoint like no other. With our 77 undergraduate degrees, 47 majors, and 21 broad fields of study, Adrian has a one-of-a-kind, hands-on learning experience for everyone. Do you want to visit the campus of Adrian College in person? Visit adrian.edu/campus-visit. Again, that's adrian.edu/campus-visit. Come take in the beautiful facilities at Adrian College for yourself.
Be ready.
Welcome back inside the Adrian College production house. Alex Herman, Reagan Petrowski joined along the way a couple 100 miles out east as well by Matt Kibbe, who's on site this afternoon calling the action out in Marlborough, Massachusetts for this afternoon's ACHA D1 National Championship playoff game. After the first 20 minutes of play, we sit still at an even score of 0-0, which is the same way that we started that opening frame. In net the afternoon for the Bronchos, it's going to be Ben Kelsch, who so far has stopped all 15 shots sent his way, and for the Bulldogs. In net, as always, Noah DeContenese, who's seen 7 shots and turned all of those aside as well. We've seen a couple of penalties to add at that too. It was at 12:16 that Michael Morera took a holding call, which the Bulldogs unfortunately at that could not convert on. 16:03 it would then be Matteo DiGiulio, which was served by Tyler Fife. It was a face-off violation. And then in the late stages of the first period, at 19:45, Artem Shura took a 2-minute tripping call to end out the first 20 minutes of play, which will start off the second, resulting in a Bulldogs power play. So going to be very interesting to see what happens in the first opening minutes of the second period. Bulldogs will skate out 5-on-4. And with that, they have their power play percentage currently sitting at a 63.8 for away games and 89.29% overall. So a high conversion rate for the Bulldogs. You got to look out for all of their top players. Connor Smith, Sebastian Smith, Sam Spate, all the likes will, I imagine, will be out there. And with that first period summary, we're going to step aside just for a quick break and return just a few more moments before the start of the second period.
Adrian College has dozens of athletics programs, and winning is a staple on our campus. We have the culture of winning in and out of the classroom. This is a place where young men and women grow into professionals for life. Are you interested in learning more about the Bulldog experience? Visit adrianbulldogs.com and the Recruit Me tab to be recruited to play your sport of choice today. If you have what it takes, you could be a Bulldog in no time.
Back inside the Adrian College Media Production House, Alex Herman, alongside with Reagan Petrowski. We sit at a score right now, the Adrian College Bulldogs and the University of Central Oklahoma Bronchos. 0-0 after the first period. Reagan, what did you see in that first frame?
Well, a lot of back and forth action. As you look at the shot count, Adrian might have dominated the shots, but it seemed like pretty even play. Both teams unable to capitalize in the power play, but the penalty kills were holding strong. So as we come out for the second period, I'm interested to see what happens with Adrian's power play here.
It's going to be very interesting to see how they adjust their strategies, having the advantage to start the second period at that, too. They'll skate 5-on-4. I want to say for around 1 minute and 40 seconds. They do very, very well on the power play, and I think this game really coming to a surprise to the Bulldogs. They haven't seen a top-ranked opponent in quite some time. The University of Central Oklahoma being ranked number 6 overall coming into the tournament. Adrian at number 3. They've never played each other before, so a lot of pre-scouting likely to go into this game to make sure that all the bases are covered. And the Bulldogs matching well with the Bronchos. This would be a huge victory for Central Oklahoma if they can find a way to make something happen. But the Bulldogs will skate out ever so valiantly as they do and look to rewrite the script here in the second period. And we'll pass things over quickly to our rinkside reporter calling the action this afternoon out in Marlborough, Massachusetts. It's Matt Kibbe. Take it away.
Alex, Reagan, thank you so much. Great job on the intermission report from back in Adrian. I'm so glad we're able to put this together. The Bulldogs taking the ice here for the second period of action. We're about 90 seconds away from puck drop here in the second. And the Bulldogs on the power play. They have done some good things. They've struggled in some areas, but overall, a good performance from the Adrian College Bulldogs as they take on the Central Oklahoma Bronchos here in the quarterfinal matchup at the New England Sports Center in Marlborough, Massachusetts. Just about 20 minutes outside of Boston in the ACHA Men's Division I National Tournament here in Marlborough, and these teams have been firing on all cylinders all weekend long. It's been an incredible tournament so far. We already saw our morning game wrap up today. It was the University of Nevada, Las Vegas taking on Liberty. And Liberty, the 5 seed, taking down the 4 seed to move on to the semifinal matchup. Later on today, we'll have Ohio taking on Jamestown, the 2 versus 7 seed. And then Minot State taking on Indiana Tech in the nightcap. The path for the Bulldogs, they've only had to play 1 game so far, just like Central Oklahoma has. But they had to face an opponent that had their legs already used. Calvin took down Navy to bring their game to the Bulldogs on Friday. That game a win for Adrian by a score of 8-1. Central Oklahoma didn't have to play one of the play-in games. They were waiting in the 6-11 seed matchup against Arizona. They won that one by a score of 6-1, and that's what puts us here today. Other than that, the bracket has really fallen in line with what you would expect. The only really shocking thing was Ohio and number 15 Illinois State was a 1-0 win for the Bobcats. That moved them on to the quarterfinal matchup. Everybody else, the high seed has won every single game. Adrian trying to continue that trend here in the second period of play. They start on the man advantage for another minute and 40 seconds here in Marlboro. Adrian has Tyler Fife with it. Fife wrapping around, goes all the way behind the net, brings it back up to the point with Connor Smith. Smith has it blocked in front by Simpson, and Central Oklahoma clears it away. Minute 20 left to go in the man advantage. 19:30 left to go in the second period. Just 30 seconds gone, and Tyler Fife in on the attack. Goes up to Mateo DeJulia. DeJulia not able to hang on to it. Danko slides it to Fife. Fife on the right side. Goes to the far side after the shot misses. Bulldogs and Broncos have switched sides as DeJulio has it. Long pass over to Smith. Smith at the right wing side. Left wing, and a shot, and score! For Connor Smith on the power play. Might have been tipped in front. We'll see who gets credit for it in the line. It's actually Tyler Fife who tips it into the back of the net, and with only 56 seconds gone in the second period on the power play, Tyler Fife finds the back of the net. The Bulldogs score on the power play. They're 1 for 2 now. Tyler Fife gets his goal, his first of the tournament, his 22nd of the season. So now a 1-0 lead, and just like Reagan Production said in the intermission, the Bulldogs just had to find some offense. There's another shot now. Another save by Helsden, a big one at that because he almost gave up a rebound in front of the net. Bulldogs take a early 1-0 lead here in the second period, and they're still in the offensive zone on the attack. Face off coming on the right wing side. State wins it back, but Corey can't keep it at the blue line. Now a long pass over. Nolan put a stick in front and hit off of it, goes into the protected netting. 18:38 left to go here in this second period. Quick start for the Bulldogs who are on the power play. They had about 14 seconds used in the first period. They had a majority of it to work in this second period, and they took full advantage of that, using just 55 seconds before putting one in the back of the net, and the Bulldogs getting charged with an ice here. Face-off will be on the right wing side. Minutes, 25 seconds and counting left to go here in the second period. Central Oklahoma trying to answer, down by 1. Shot off of the top of the tag. Colton finds it, brought up, but it kept in by Dubecki, and Dubecki just put it back behind the net. Now Sebastian Smith uses the boards and brings it all the way back up to the point. It falls off the stick of Dubecki. Dubecki, the defenseman with 8 goals this season and 316 played. Long pass up to State. He got a stick on it, so icing's negated, and we continue on. Another launch up to the opposing blue line. Heading in with it is Salzer, and Salzer not able to hang on to it. The Bulldogs take it away on the near side. Back up into the middle of the ice. Central Oklahoma not able to hang on to it. With an offside, that was Mika Hollow who had that puck on the blue line. Just had it crossed over before everyone was able to check back up. And now with only 2 minutes and 24 seconds gone, Bulldogs win the face-off in the neutral zone. That's over. Not with it. Not sends it in and then walks out of the zone. Bulldogs get charged with an icing here, and they'll take it all the way back to the defensive zone. Central Oklahoma, right after giving up the ball, has done a good job of not letting the Bulldog offense get going. Bulldogs have faced adversity before. A couple of losses this season, a couple of heartbreakers in the shootout. Off the face-off, it's on the left wing side of the ice. The Cottony sticks to paddle out and is able to put it to the near side. Central Oklahoma still with it. Matt Patrick hanging on the boards to encourage his team to get it out of the zone. Tied up along the board. Back over to the far side. Armstrong. Not able to hang on to it. Central Oklahoma takes another shot. Back up to the point here. Krause in front. Now in the slot. Krause has it again. Takes another one. This is wide of the net. There's Watt back into the middle. Still hanging on to it. The Broncos still battling along that board. Armstrong lifted on the right side. Has to be picked up by Damer. Damer takes a hit and delivers one right back. Clemens wraps it around. Central Oklahoma will take it back behind their net. They'll bring it up the left wing side of the ice. Wants into the blue line. Now that's back in by the Bulldogs. Or check on for Tyler Spice. Spice the first one there. Sends it back into the near side corner. And the Overball steps up. Whacks at a stick. Tries to get that puck back. Clemens needs some help. Now on the stick of Ivers sends it in and goes for a change. 4 minutes gone here in the second period of play. Shot time goal. 10 shot difference, 18-8. Back up. Icing waves off here on the Bulldogs, and Central Oklahoma gets it back. Draw it up. This is Burton. Burton back in. Picked up by Wells. Wells takes a shot. Doesn't put it stand and miss. Janko tried to get a stick on it. Now Dylan Kent needing some help, and the Bulldogs have it behind Noah Cottony. Pressure coming from Central Oklahoma. They sit in a 2-1-2 for the breakout. Bulldogs don't like the look just yet. Now they find it, and they'll try and break. Up to DeJulio. DeJulio in. Takes the pass into the middle of the ice, looking for Connor Smith, not able to get it to him. Stanko has a battle along the half wall. Long pass over. Kicked in by DeJulio, but it's picked up by Central Oklahoma, and they just dump it in and go for a change. Big hit delivered by Hemming. Nico Hemming on the forecheck. A long cross-ice pass, trying to bring it back to the near side. To Becky. Send it in. Now it's on the stick of Simpson. Simpson leaves it. Shot up. Simpson still battling for it. Now gets it out. Brazil trying to kick it away again. He sockers it up to Stinko. Stinko pitchforks it to Connor Smith, but he's got a high stick ball on a Bronco. That was Becky who hit it high, and he had to let the Bulldogs play it. DeJulio trying to just hammer it into the back of the net, but Kells makes a big stop in front of the net as DeJulio took a golf swing at it to try and get it past him and took a little bit of a whiff on it, but Kells able to make a good stop in front. We'll see a face-off coming on the left-hand side as there was some dinner plans to be made between the two teams. Face-off is going to be on the left wing side of the ice. Linesman having a conversation with the right winger about encroaching the face-off. Finally drops the puck. The Broncos win it. Hot. Tried to keep it in at blue line. Not able to. Segro. as it lost. Now it's in the near side corner. Trying to get it up. Broncos have it. Livers. Then a shot in. Now the Cotton settles it behind the net. Breakout play once again for the Bulldogs. Long pass to the near side. Whiskey is tied up between two Broncos, and we have a delay call coming, and this one is going to be on the Bulldogs. Bulldogs not happy with the call. It's going to be a 2-minute minor for stripping, and the Broncos get to go back on the net advantage. You're already 0 for 1 today. They have Pope as the one serving the penalty, but I believe Pope is going to be the one that's serving. He was not happy about the call, but nonetheless, the Central Oklahoma team has a chance to tie the team back up on the power play. Same way the Bulldogs took the lead. Into the offensive zone, wrapping it around the board. Still looking for possession. Now they have it. Back here, Mikhailov, and he takes a stop saved by DeCotton. Cotton being tested here for the second time on the power play. Central Oklahoma's done a good job about the puck. Get anything bad to start studying goaltender for this Bulldog action. Shot in. Drifts up in front of the net. Another one. This one just misses off the stick of Austin Simpson, who was kicking himself, and he saw an open net. Simpson has it back into the middle of the ice. Backhand stop. Rebound. Loose in front. The Bulldogs just get the bodies away from the puck. Dubecki with it. Dubecki flies it to the right wing side of the ice. Back into the left. Hanging on to it here is Sky. Sky takes a shot from the point. That was Dubecki. It missed wide of the net. Blocker side wide, and the Bulldogs try and clear it out. They can't. Central Oklahoma keeping the pressure on. Now Mott has it. Mott is able to finally clear for the Bulldogs. Their first to clear attempt here with 40 seconds left on the man advantage for Central Oklahoma. Left behind the net. Bombardier with it. Goes up to the near side board. Into the offensive zone. There's the Broncos. Now it's sent all the way back in. Another score with 10 seconds left on the penalty. Central Oklahoma, one final breakout if they can use it. Back over to the far side of the ice. Hanging on to it is Elkin. Elkin sends a shot in though with the pass to the left wing side. Another shot in. Cotney down on his pillows and he makes a save. Bulldogs kill off the penalty. Central Oklahoma 0 for 2 now on man advantage. On pass over. Central Oklahoma still with the pressure off of the power play. 5-on-5 hockey here with 11 minutes left to go in the second period of action. Another shot in, misses wide of the net, but Cotney's got a glove out and he'll hang on to it. 10:59 left to go here in the second period of play. 21 shots on goal for the Bulldogs, 11 for Central Oklahoma, who has, ever since that penalty was called, controlled this game, and the Broncos have been doing a fantastic job of moving the puck around. $10:59 left to go here in the second period of action. Shot off the face-off to Cotton's coverage. A smart play by the goaltender who has been challenged here recently, but through that first period didn't really have a whole lot of difficult shots in front of the net. Face-off on the left wing side of the ice for the Bulldogs. They're able to win it. Again, the Bulldogs going left to right now as DeJulio finds it. Puts the wrister, takes his time and hits the side of the net. DeJulio looking for a call, doesn't get it. Dylan Kent, cross-ice pass, looking for Connor Smith. Smith has an assist already today. Danko on the half wall. And Central Oklahoma tries to clear it in. Dylan Kent keeps it in at the blue line. Got in front. Stanko didn't see where it was. Central Oklahoma gets it out of their zone. Dakota Bond with it. And now had to be sent back in by Connor Smith. He'll go for a change. And 3 new forwards on the ice, as well as 1 new defenseman. Dylan Kent, the only one that hasn't been able to change quite yet. Clemens had to pester for it. Now Henrik Overval with it. Overval wraps it around the boards. And he got to do something fun over the winter. Got to participate in the university games for Team Sweden. That was up in Lake Placid. That's over. Sivers. He launches it in. The Bulldogs were so good on the offensive side that Central Oklahoma couldn't take advantage of the turnover, and they had to go for a change instead. Now on the far side of the ice. Central Oklahoma on the board. They get it back on the stick of Wells. Wells puts it into the corner on the far side. Back up to the point. No, it's stopped in the middle by the Bulldogs. Now going the other way. Hanging on to it here is Clemens. Clemens gets tied up. Shot hit off the pads of Kels. And Kels almost gave up a juicy one in front of the net. Sam State keeps it in at the blue line. Getting tied up and taking helmet shots as Central Oklahoma gets it back. These 2 teams have been so physical with each other as Sebastian Smith lays the body on a man. Back up to Brody Thornton. Thornton to Mott. Back to Thornton. Thornton wrister in front of the net. He scores! Tipped in by Sebastian Smith! A sliding celebration as Smith tips it over the pad on the diving Ben Kells. The Bulldogs have a 2-0 lead with 8:50 left to go in the second period of play. Sebastian Smith gets his team-leading 3rd goal of the national tournament. With 8:50 left to go in period number 2, the Bulldogs have a 2-goal lead here with 8:40 now and counting as we're back underway here in Boston, Massachusetts. Bubba, as they call him, for this team, and he continues to impress here in the national tournament. DeCesare with it. Broncos down. Forward to DeCesare. DeCesare, wrist serve, blocked away by Kells. Offense starting to pick up for the Bulldogs. Another one in front. Armstrong swipes it to the board. Keeps possession down low. Thornton, another wrister. Back up. Now on the near side board. Thornton takes it over along the half wall, but Armstrong there to help out. Gamer sends it back up to the right point. Right point to left point with Sheldon Nolan. Nolan rips his block. Nolan keeps it down low. Armstrong going to have to find it along the boards. One change for DeCesare as it brings on DeJulio, and Nolan stops it at the point right in front of the bench just outside the blue line. Nolan wearing the captain C this year. Thornton down in the middle. Central Oklahoma with a chance. Nolan just launches it length of the ice, but icing's going to be called off here. Stanko, first one there. No, they call it. Looked like the linesman was saying it wouldn't be icing. Looked like he had called it off, but instead it is awarded icing to Central Oklahoma. They'll be allowed to change. And Brody Thornton has to stay on the ice even though he was waiting at the bench to get off. I thought Stanko had beaten the icing call, but the linesman saw otherwise. And with 7:37 left to go, the Bulldogs have a defensive zone faceoff that's won by Central Oklahoma. Back up, lifted in. Another one is this is going to be called icing again. Armstrong trying to go for a change. He's going to get called back out. 2 icings in a row for the Bulldogs here, and not necessarily tired Bulldogs, but definitely feeling it a little bit. This has been a long shift for them. They have a 2-0 lead, though, courtesy of the Sebastian Smith goal just a few moments ago. Central Oklahoma wins the faceoff. The Broncos sends a shot in, and back behind it was stopped by Salzar. And stepped in at the blue line. Bulldogs take it away on the left wing side of the ice. Still battling for it. Now a big hit delivered by Stanko. Now we're back on the near side, wrapping around the boards. Skies with it. Skies has it. Leaves it back behind. Another one pushed up, and now it's in the middle of the ice between the blue lines. Fife has it. Taking his time, trying to pull it away. The 50 senior. Bond with it. Bond settling it up. It's on the near side corner. Shot in over top of the net into the protected netting. Central Oklahoma had it on the near side corner, then flashed into the middle of the ice. And Noah DeCottney's almost saw one go past him into the back of the net, but it was just a little bit too high underneath, and it was lifted up by Jeff Redmond. And that was probably the best chance Central Oklahoma has had all afternoon. 6:34 left to go here in this second period of play. In front of the Central Oklahoma bench. Another long pass up. Jumps in, straight on for the Broncos, and it's sent away. Bulldogs able to get it out. Just for a moment, now they need a little bit of help. Clement, first one in on the fourth check. Taken away by the Broncos. That's going to be David Burton. And then a long pass over to the far side with Sedgwick. Sedgwick sends it in. Now it's in the slot. Another shot. This one blocked by Overval. Overval directing traffic on the defensive side of the puck. These two teams continue to be physical with each other. Players down. Looks like it's Joe and Kent who's slow to get up. And Dylan Kent was tied up behind the net. Still looking for call, but doesn't get it. He gets up on his own power. Let's see it off the ice. It was a play tied up behind Noah DeCottney that Dylan Kent got taken down with him. He got a little bit of an extra shove, but nothing coming of it. Either team. That is one thing you can say is that the officials have let these two teams play so far. The physicality has been incredible. As Mott wins it back. Hanging on to it in his own defensive zone. The right face-off ticket. Battling. And biting away at it are the Bulldogs in the corner, on the bench, back into the middle of the ice. Sam State finds it, leaves it for Sebastian Smith. Smith puts on a move, backhand shot, misses the side of the net. Smith still trying to get some help, not able to put it into the offensive zone. The Bulldogs on their heels. The Central Oklahoma team is going to get called for an offside here as Elkins was just on the other side of the blue line when he kicked it back out in the neutral zone, and we'll see a face-off here with 5:04 left to go in this second period of action. Again, coming up for the second intermission, it will be Alex Herman and Reagan Paskowski bringing you their analyst of the second period of action. The Bulldogs have put up 2 goals. We'll have a little bit more to talk about in this second intermission. Cody Thornton sends it in. Haven't taken any media timeouts today, which is interesting. I've been here since Thursday, and every single game during pool play for women's D2 and men's D3 had a media timeout. We have not taken one here at the men's Division I tournament yet. Sheldon, well, I was hoping we would, because that would mean we get to send it back to Adrian at the media production house to hear a little bit about the game so far in the middle of the period from Alex and Reagan. 4:30 though left to go here in the second period. A 2-0 game. Icing is going to be called, and we'll go all the way back to the Bulldogs defensive zone. Sheldon Nolan, the captain for this team, has played in 37 games already this season. 5 goals to set 18 assists for the defenseman. All thanks good since his freshman year. Has earned the captaincy this year here at the national tournament, rallying his team. Long skipping from Central Oklahoma. Currently played it, no icing called. Gets back in. Fourth check on. It works for the Broncos, and with 4 minutes even left to go, they have an offensive chance. And a long stretch pass out to Stenko. Stenko tries to put on a move, gets stripped up into the offensive zone, but he still battles for it and delivers a hit on his way out. DeJulio with it, taken away by Kent back on the ice. Kent slides it to Stenko. Stenko tried to get it back to DeJulio in front of the ice, in front of the net, but a little bit too much on it. Kept in at the point by Smith. Smith takes a shot. DeJulio finds the rebound and puts it in! 3-0 for the Bulldogs. As Connor Smith took a shot from the blue line. DeJulio saw it bounce off the pad, saw that it was loose, and whacked it into the back of the net. It's 3-0 Adrian College. Another even strength goal with 3:35 left to go in period number 2, and Mateo DeJulio gets his second of the tournament. 3 unanswered goals from the Bulldogs here in the second period after we skated scoreless through the first 20 minutes of play. 3:30 left to go here in period number 2. What a shot from Connor Smith at the blue line to put it on net. And then DeJulio has a long pass up to Clement, who can't get to it just in time. They had a little bit too much on it. Connor Smith gets his second apple of the game. Brendan Stenko also adds an assist on that goal. Pagotny steps out of his crease, plays it. 3:55 left. Another player goes down in front of the Central Oklahoma bench. Krause had it, lost to Hatcher. Hatcher for Overval. Overval shoots, like that save by Kelt. 2:40 left to go here in period number 2. Bulldogs trying to advance to the semifinal where they have a potential matchup against Liberty. Remember, when the quarterfinal is over, there will be a reseed of all the winners as that puck goes into the stand. Somebody's going home for the season here. Luckily, I know Tyler LaFollette, and he was able to snag me a puck during warm-up. So I now have the desired puck that everyone wants. Take that chance whenever you can. You give a shout out to Zoe, the equipment manager. He's in his senior year as well. Watch out behind on face-off play. The right circle. This has been a setup that Central Oklahoma has used a couple of times. Whenever a face-off is in the offensive zone, they'll have a winger out on the right wing side. I'm going to be honest with you, folks. If you remember from last year, if another one comes up into the stands and somebody else can go home with a souvenir, looks like a Central Oklahoma fan is going to take that one. But I'd be very interested to hear from our 2 hockey experts back in Adrian during the intermission about that face-off setup. It is a setup unlike anything you often see. 4 skaters around the circle with obviously the face-off hand, but then that extra winger, that fifth skater, goes all the way over to the right side and in that middle dot of the right wing circle, and that's where he stands for the face-off, waiting for a puck, obviously, to come in at one time or something. But we'll have that breakdown and more coming up during the intermission here on Adrian College Television. Audio-only broadcast here for the folks back in Adrian. Thanks for joining us here on YouTube. Maybe you synced us up with the Hockey TV broadcast, and if you did, we're so thankful for you to be listening. Back over. Central Oklahoma into the offensive zone. The Broncos has Mika Heloff into the side of the net. Rebound in front to Cotton, sets the side, and they score! UCO answers off of the twig of Donald Elton. He puts one in the back of the net. It is 3-1. The puck skirted back into the middle of the ice. And Elton was in the right place at the right time. If you're going to take a shot and get it right over the rake tag of Noah Ducatney. With a minute 36 left to go in period number 2. We've seen 4 goals between these two stands. I know the folks back in Adrian happy to have a little bit more to talk about after what was a slow start for the first period of action. Under 90 seconds left to go here in the second period. The Bulldogs just have a 2-goal lead. Central Oklahoma with it. UCO battling along the half wall. Now it's back in. Dylan Kent steps up, saw the hit coming and decided to eat it along the board. Armstrong into the offensive zone. Steps in as Kels stops it with his paddle and still behind the net. Central Oklahoma trying to break out. Pedro into the middle. The Cesare launches it back in on the backhand. Under a minute to go here in the first period of play. The ACHA Men's Division I quarterfinal matchup between Adrian College and the University of Central Oklahoma. 3-1 the score. Into the middle. Central Oklahoma trying to find it. Now Kent with it. Kent puts on a move. Kent makes it around. The big defenseman using his offensive skill. Senko rebound, one-timer off the back of the net. DeJulio with it. 25 seconds left to go in the second period. Dylan Kent, long pass over to Dakota Bond. Bond takes a shot, tips over and past the side of the net. On the near side now. Central Oklahoma is going to try and pin it along the boards for 15 seconds and head to the intermission, only down by 2. Smith comes in, pokes at it. Stanko still tied up. Smith gets it out. Smith has it. Stanko finds it loose, taking down the penalty coming on Central Oklahoma with 5 seconds left in the second period of action. Holding is the call as Stinko got taken down. The 50-year senior slow to get up as he was taken down by the Central Oklahoma Broncos, as this is going to be David Burton, who is going to serve 2 minutes. And Stinko still down as the athletic trainer will come out and take a look. As the athletic trainer comes out and takes a look, there's 4 seconds left to go in the second period. We're going to take a quick 30-second break here on ACTV. We'll be right back.
In its 2021 edition of America's Best Colleges, U.S. News & World Report has once again ranked Adrian College as a top regional college in the Midwest. The institution was named to the Best Regional Colleges Midwest section for the 7th consecutive year, and once again listed number 2 in the Most Innovative Schools category. In addition to these honors, Adrian College was also named to the Best Undergraduate Teaching and Best Value College lists. Adrian College has been established as a distinctive and innovative educational leader in the United States. The institution places priority on a culture of innovation and critical thinking. This is the 12th consecutive year Adrian College has been featured by U.S. News & World Report. You can see the full list of rankings and find more information on their website. For more information about Adrian College, visit adrian.edu.
Brendan Stinko had to get help off the ice. He had no pressure on his right leg, so we're trying to get him up to as the second period comes to a close. The score 3-1. The Bulldogs will have a minute and 56 seconds left to go in the man advantage when the third period starts. Just a 2-goal lead for Adrian College. And with that, we send it back to the folks here at Adrian at the Media Production House. Alex Herman, Reagan Petrowski, take it away.
Thanks, Matt. Well, that was certainly a more eventful second period than we saw in the first 20 minutes of play. 4 goals scored after 40 minutes. The score sitting in favor of the Adrian College Bulldogs, 3-1, and we'll give you the scoring summary for that in just a second. Opening up at first on the power play, Tyler Fife was able to take advantage of their 5-on-4, which started just as the period opened. As well as that, following at 11:10, it was Sebastian Smith from Brody Thornton and Nathaniel Mott. Mateo DeJulio scored the third goal at 16:25 in the second, assisted by Connor Smith and Dylan Kent. And the University of Central Oklahoma really showing that they're staying in the game at 18:24, the late stages of the second. It was Donald Alchin assisted by Austin Simpson, which leaves us at the score that we have at the moment at 3-1. What did you see after that 20, Reagan?
Well, we saw the Bulldogs come out a lot faster than the first period, I'd say, starting off strong, as you said, with a power play goal. And then they just didn't back down from there. They just kept pushing through and netted 2 more, but UCO is not letting up, and they're definitely still in this game. Late goal there. That's a late goal is it's not great to go into the locker room with that for the Bulldogs. Good momentum for UCO. Interested to see what happens here in the third.
Well, you have to add, too, UCO, one of the stronger teams in ACHA D1. We mentioned it earlier this afternoon, the number 6 team here in the tournament at Marlborough, Massachusetts. They were in a national championship game last year, unfortunately fell to Lindenwood, so they have a lot of experience with the players that are currently rostered, and you have to imagine that that's going to factor into the game for this afternoon. Everything is really going back and forth from what we can see. The Bulldogs, I'd like to say, really need to be careful in front of the net because the Broncos are finding ways to get shots off from odd areas, and they're creating a lot of traffic in front, and that's really what you saw on that goal that they scored late in the second period. Donald Alchin put it home, but there was a lot of things going on in front of the net, and it's going to be interesting for me to see how the Bulldogs are able to adjust to that because I would definitely not count Central Oklahoma out of this game.
Yeah, definitely would not. They had a few other close opportunities there that I thought we were all gonna see another one go in the back of the net, but Noah DeCottney stood on his head and kept him out.
And I'd like to add, too, Noah DeCottney's the starting netminder this afternoon for the Adrian College Bulldogs, has been the bread and butter for the black, yellow, and gold. He's playing really strong this afternoon. For me, it really looks like he's extremely calm and collected. At this point in the game, he's seen 13 shots, which is just about half of what Adrian has at 26. So they're not really being tested as much in the shot category, but everything that's being sent his way is extremely high value, coming from the dangerous areas of the ice. And I think you're going to have to throw the kitchen sink at DeCottney's to see if they can find a way to get 2 more behind them and tie this game up.
Yeah, definitely. There in the middle of the period with a power play, they had a lot of great opportunities, and they're trying everything right now. They keep working that way, especially if they got another power play. Keep doing what they're doing. Noah's very strong tonight, but I mean, you keep hammering them at the net. One of them is bound to go in.
I think what we noted, too, while the game was going on, it was the Cyrus Toth tripping call at 6:37 in the second period was really where UCO started to come alive. They were getting a lot of shots off on DeCottney's, put many bodies in front of the net, trying to take away his sight of vision, but he persevered through it all, and he's staying strong. So we sit at a score of 3-1, and we'll step aside for a quick break.
Adrian College has once again been recognized for its commitment to engaged, experiential education by Colleges of Distinction, a one-of-a-kind guide for college-bound students. While higher education has changed over the past 20 years, Colleges of Distinction's selection process has stayed consistent in accepting only those that adhere to the 4 distinctions: engaged students, great teaching, vibrant community, and successful outcomes. Overlaid in the last few years have been a look into high-impact practices. They believe most critical to the student experience were the kinds of engaging experience that are found at Adrian College. To learn more, please visit adrian.edu.
Adrian College has dozens of athletics programs, and winning is a staple on our campus. We have the culture of winning in and out of the classroom. This is a place where young men and women grow into professionals for life. Are you interested in learning more about the Bulldog experience? Visit adrianbulldogs.com and the Recruit Me tab to be recruited to play your sport of choice today. If you have what it takes, you could be a Bulldog in no time.
You need anything from me?
Bulldog fans, connect with Adrian College TV on social media to be updated when we're broadcasting live, to see highlights, plays of the week, and much more. Adrian College Television is on Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter. ACTV's handle is at Adrian College TV on every form of social media. Thank you for tuning in and subscribing to the home of the Bulldogs, Adrian College TV.
because I had 90 seconds that I
The Adrian College Media Production House provides opportunities for students to learn and grow live on the airwaves, just like Matt Kibbe.
I've gotten a chance to create a relationship with coaches and teams and learn more from people instead of trying to teach myself something. Got an opportunity to expand my knowledge of sports, hone in on my skills as a broadcaster, and learn about equipment in different ways. You get more of a connection with professors as well.
Providing opportunities, growing leadership. The Adrian College Media Production House. Thanks for tuning in. The Adrian College Media Production House provides opportunities for students to learn and grow live on the airwaves, just like Matt Kibbe.
I've gotten a chance to create a relationship with coaches and teams and learn more from people instead of trying to teach myself something. Got an opportunity to expand my knowledge of sports, hone in on my skills as a broadcaster, and learn about equipment in different ways. You get more of a connection with professors as well.
Providing opportunities, growing leadership. The Adrian College Media Production House. Thanks for tuning in.
Bulldog fans, connect with Adrian College TV on social media to be updated when we're broadcasting live, to see highlights, plays of the week, and much more. Adrian College Television is on Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter. ACTV's handle is at Adrian College TV on every form of social media. Thank you for tuning in and subscribing to the home of the Bulldogs, Adrian College TV.
Welcome back inside the Adrian College Media Production House in beautiful Adrian, Michigan. The score at the moment, 3-1 in favor of the Adrian College Bulldogs as they're facing off against the University of Central Oklahoma. The Bronchos this afternoon, the number 6 ranked team coming into the tournament, facing off against the Bulldogs, number 3. And a more eventful second period than we saw in the first. We saw 4 goals, all scored. We saw 3 for the Bulldogs, those coming from Tyler Fife, Sebastian Smith, and Mateo DiGiulio. And then in the late stages there, it was Donald Alchin who was able to find the back of the net to even things up a little bit closer as the Bronchos will skate into the third period down by 2. And a lot to note after that 20-minute frame, have Matt Kibbe on the other line, sitting in the New England Sports Center out in Marlborough, Massachusetts. I'd like to say, at this point, we've seen the pace of play really start to pick up. It was a faster start for the Bulldogs, and the Broncos really matched that well. They're moving the puck extremely fast around the ice. Everything's snapping the way that you want it to when it's in playoff hockey. Matt, you being in the rink and seeing the environment, what do you have to add for that?
It has been one of the craziest environments that you can see. This ice has picked up its speed. The puck is moving around really quickly. And the team is making the adjustments that they need to. After a scoreless first period, they went to the locker room, and they were clearly upset heading off the ice. They were looking for something to get that early goal just 50 seconds into the second period, and then they get a couple more. So the Bulldogs are doing everything right that they need to. But the one thing that hasn't faltered for Central Oklahoma is that they have been able to stick with the Bulldogs. The Bulldogs have picked up the pace of play because they can. They have the ability to go fast and utilize their forwards and their defensemen at the blue line. But Central Oklahoma has done a good job of going back on the other end and giving it right back to the Bulldogs.
Well, I'd like to think that a lot of the play being dominated by the Bulldogs is able to happen because of how loaded their roster is with talent. They do such a great job on both ends of the ice and really have two-way players on the both forward lines as well as defensive sides. So they do a great job on both ends of the ice, and you can really see the result there. In addition, Adrian really utilizing the blue line very well. 2 of the 3 goals that they scored in that period came from the back ends of the offensive zone, shots from way downtown, then finding a body in front, taking a bounce, and then ultimately finding the back of the net. Matt, out there, what did you see on those 3 goals scored by the Bulldogs?
Focusing on primarily 2 of them, it was Connor Smith who has 2 assists so far today. He has been electric from the blue line. There was a little bit of talk that he was a little jealous of what Sebastian has been able to do here at the national tournament. So he's trying to find the back of the net. His brother Sebastian has 3 goals this tournament. Connor Smith only getting some assists so far. So you're really seeing Connor put himself in a position to get goals. But what's really good is that the defense or the forwards in front of him down at the blue in front of the crease have done a really good job of collecting rebounds or either tipping it into the back of the net.
And the last thing, really to note, the physicality too, as well as the pace of play, definitely starting to play more of a factor in this game. We've seen a lot of big body contacts, and unfortunately at the end of the period, you saw Brendan Stanko get taken out by a hit. But both sides really laying the body down. That's something that we commonly see in playoff hockey. Both teams really don't want to give each other a lot of space to make things happen. And the best way that you can do that, forcing players to the outside, making body contact, hitting players off of the puck. And that's really what we saw there. Out there in Marlboro, Matt, what did you see?
You're exactly right. You're watching the same game that we're seeing here in Marlboro. This game has been back and forth physical as well. Central Oklahoma has taken a couple of big hits, and a couple of Bulldogs have gone down. So that physicality is going to start to pick up and get going here in the third. You're going to see Central Oklahoma really putting themselves on the line. This season is on the line here. Don't forget that. It's win or go home in the men's Division I tournament. So you have to get something going. Only down by 2, you've got to feel like you're in a good spot.
All right, and with that, Alex Herman, Matt Kibbe, and Reagan Petrowski coming to you live on ACTV. We'll take a quick step aside for a short break and return in a few. Back inside the Adrian College Media Production House in Adrian, Michigan, Alex Herman and Reagan Petrowski coming to you live on ACTV. A lot of adjustments need to be made here in the third period in order to ensure a Bulldog victory. They skate into this last regulation frame up 3-1, saw a lot of good things, but what do you think, Reagan, that the Bulldogs need to do to make sure that they can walk away with the win today?
Well, I think they need to be more defensive-minded here. I know you want to put more pucks in the back of the net, but you have a 2-goal lead right now. Why not just be more defensive-minded? Think about that first, because that's all that matters at this point here.
And we really saw a common theme in that second period. The Broncos did a very good job of creating traffic in front of Adrian College netminder Noah DeCottney's. How do you think that the Bulldogs are going to have to battle that back?
Yeah, definitely moving bodies out of the way and making sure you're also blocking shots up top.
All right, and just like that, we'll send it over halfway across the country to Marlborough, Massachusetts, inside the New England Sports Center. It's Matt Kibbe. Take it away.
Already underway here in the second period of play. The Bulldogs leading by a score of 3-1 on the power play for the next 90 seconds here against the Central Oklahoma Broncos. Adrian College on the attack here early, tossing into the offensive zone, and Mateo DiGiulio looking for it. Wraps around, hits the side of the net. Thank you again to Alex Herman and Reagan Petrowski on doing another fantastic job there in that intermission report. Hoping to have more for you here from Massachusetts this week as Monday and Tuesday roll around with potential for the semifinals and finals for these Bulldogs. But first, they got to take care of Central Oklahoma. Another shot over the top and a save by Ben Kelt. 18 minutes, 56 seconds left here in the third period of play. The Bulldogs holding that 3-1 lead, still on the power play for another 52 seconds. That was the holding call that happened right at the tail end of the second period. Brendan Stanko was the one that got taken down. He is back on the bench. Haven't seen him out for a shift just yet. As the puck is loose and then tied up, but Sheldon Nolan keeps it in at the blue line. A great job by the captain. That one skipped just over his stick, though, as it was a hard pass coming back to him. And now heading in with some speed on the far side, back into the middle with Sebastian Smith. Loose put on, shot, hits off of the body of a Bronco, and that was Bombardier. As Fate has it, long pass over. Now down in the middle of the ice, Central Oklahoma's going to get it back to and players tied up behind the play. Fate to Smith. Smith trying to get it up to Thornton. Thornton not able to hang on to it, so they need a little bit of help here from Cope. Long pass. The penalty is going to expire. The Bulldogs now 1 for 3 on the man advantage tonight. 2 minutes gone in the third period of play. 17:50 left to go here. Going back behind and making an icing call on the Bulldogs. Here in Marlborough, Massachusetts, outside of Boston, for the ACHA Men's Division I National Tournament. The women's team for this Adrian College for the Bulldogs is playing in the semifinals. That game coming up at 7 o'clock. Over in rink number 2. Mott sends a shot in. It goes off the netting, so we'll see another face-off in the neutral zone. But here at the New England Sports Center, a fantastic venue for this ACHA tournament. I think the only complaint the fans have had is the long line. So many teams have showed up. Over 80 teams qualified for their respective tournaments across 5 divisions of hockey. That shot was taken by Kofi to do one. It was a dump in and then was caught by Kell. But all 80 teams, over 115 games are going to be played this weekend. The tournament started on Thursday with pool play and some elimination games here for the D1 tournament, which is single elimination. Pool play for the rest of the division is going to start taking place tomorrow, or I should say the semifinals. Pool play done. A couple of divisions got today off, but men's and women's Division 1 did not. A lot of Michigan teams also made the trip out here to Boston. It's an impressive sight for the Mitten State of Hockey. Shot in front, slides away. Kent has it at the blue line. Another shot. Tricked up and saved by Kell. As Central Oklahoma gets tied up with a couple of players. Another good shot attempt from the Bulldogs. Face-off's going to be on the left wing side of the ice. Bulldogs hanging on to a lead right now, just a 2-goal lead. We're trying to get some more experience to go to Bond, left it down low, and looking for Clement as it's down in front now behind the net with Overball wrap around shot at the side of the cage and stays behind it. Fight with it, another wrap around. This one saved with the right tag by Callis, and then wrapping around the boards again to the far side of the ice. Overball lost his stick, so now he has to go after it. Overball, Henrik that is, one of the nicest guys to see walking around campus or really anywhere you find the when he is on the ice. He is mean, he is physical, and he lets you know it as well. The Swedish sensation for this Adrian College hockey team. And Coach Darius was so lucky that he was able to pick him up, bring him to Adrian to play college hockey. Talking to Coach yesterday before this quarterfinal matchup, he mentioned how this team is just so good and they mesh so well with each other. With an offside call on Tyler Sykes. But talked about the team in the chemistry. This is one of the tightest knit groups that Coach Assalis has ever coached. Is how he described it. He said they are so close with each other. They care so much about each other, and they love this sport of hockey so much that it makes it super easy for him to have to coach every single day. 16:24 left to go in the third period of play. Shots on goal, a 10-shot on goal differential, 35-15 in favor of the Bulldogs, who hold the lead as well. 3-1 to score here. As Smith backhands it into the offensive zone. Coach thought about hanging on to it and playing it, and he does just that. We play on. In the middle of the right. Lost by the Broncos, and with 16:05 left to go, they'll bring it up. Long pass into the middle. Nothing going. Julia tries to get it at center ice, and then it's launched in right on Ducati. He goes into the butterfly and stops it. Smith slices it to Stanko. He's back on the ice. Good to see him skating well. Stanko to DeJulio. DeJulio takes the shot. It goes over top. Hits the very top of the glass, and we play on. Short glass here around the entire rink, about, call it 4 feet high. Post into the offensive zone. Bulldogs basically looking for an offside. They don't get it, but they're in the offensive attack now. Still battling. Over to the far side. Back in front of the Bulldogs bench. Mott has to be the first one to it. Nathaniel Mott gets there. Still pestered by the likes of Simpson. Simpson for Central Oklahoma. Not able to get possession of it. Long pass out. Broken up in the middle at the center right circle by and then taken away by the Bulldogs. Back into the slot area, but nobody home for Adrian. Mott steps up from the blue line. Not able to keep it in. As Midwitzky had it for a moment and then lost it. 14:53 left to go here in this third period of action, the final frame of action, as that shot wrapped all the way around the boards and back into the defensive zone of the Broncos. Back in. On the offensive attack they go, needing to score a goal here. They have plenty of time. There's only a 2-goal deficit, but the Bulldogs have been pestering on the defensive side of the puck. Icing called off as it doesn't have enough on it. Broncos have to play it. Alkin calling for the puck, doesn't get it. He has the lone goal that team with 96 seconds left in the second period. Krause sends a shot in, just in front. Puck is loose. Ducati finds it and missed the cover. What a play by the starting netminder, Noah Ducati. There's a bunch of Bulldogs surrounding down low and gathering around, having a conversation with the opposition. Continue to play on here. Face-off going to be in the right wing circle. $14-14 left to go here in period number 3. Inside the New England Sports Center in Marlborough, Massachusetts. Bulldog hockey back on the Adrian College television after the last night's quarterfinal victory for the NCAA men's team. They took down Wisconsin Stevens Point. It's overtime nonetheless. Matisse Spodniak got the overtime win. That's sensational for that team. But they'll move on to Endicott for the Trojan 4, the chance to repeat as national champions. The ACHA men's D1 team is looking to get back in the national championship column as well here this week. I'm Matt Kiddy. Nice to see you all again and talk to you over the airwaves of ACHA. Thank you, director and the boss lady over at ACTV, Megan Abbey, for allowing this to happen and really making it happen. She's producing this broadcast as well. As a shot in front and a big ball and saved by Ben Pelt. ACTV would not be able to function without Megan and her entire staff. They do a fantastic job. It's been fun to watch from afar this year. 13:46 left to go here in the third period of play. 3-1 is our score. Adrian leads another face-off in the right wing circle, trying to get it back. We'll see if they're able to do much with it, as it's won by them, and now it's at the left point, or the right point, as the Bulldogs go right to left on the radio dial. Thornton into the offensive zone, leaves it behind, and it's Oval on the fourth shot. 13:30 left to go. Got in off the right wing side for Korea, and Korea lost it, and Spice takes it back. Now Overval has to put on the brakes and get around the man. It's lost it to center circle. Clement tried to find it. Overval whack. Puck lifted up in the air. Thornton now pinned along the half wall. Fife with it. Fife gets it back into the middle. Clement still battling. Now it's with Elkin. Elkin takes a shot, goes over the shoulder of the Cottonies, who stands about a couple inches higher than the crossbar on the net. The Cottonies down low, has his feet on each post as the net is going to come all the way down over top of the goaltender, and we'll see a face-off as there was a lot of physicality down low on the bottom of the pile is Ethan Clement. And nothing as the net quite literally fell on top of the Cottonies. The Cottonies was down guarding his post, and he was luckily in the perfect position that it didn't take him out. He was able to almost turtle shell underneath the net, and we'll see a face-off here as both teams go for a change. The linesman putting the breakaway pegs back into the net. And we'll see another face-off, this time from the left wing side. The Bulldogs on their defensive heel. Just battling. Down by 2 are the Central Oklahoma Broncos, trying to get back into it. They're in the offensive zone, down low. Simpson with it. Now the Central Oklahoma. Holding was the call as Adrian's on the penalty kick. I didn't see penalty on it, so I was very confused when I heard the PA announcer come up with saying that there was one. Already 30 seconds gone, and the man advantage for Central Oklahoma. Need a goal here to get back in it and get down by 1. Over in the near side corner, Thornton takes it along the board, still wrapping around, and then cleared away, but it goes right into the Bulldog bench, and we'll see a face-off that will stay all the way back in the Bulldog defensive zone. 11:58 left to go here in the third period of play. 1:19 left to go. Obviously, a lot of time left, but important to maybe note that there is a timeout left for both teams. Or so my warning for the crew back in Adrian, that when a timeout is taken, I'm sending it back to the studio. We'll give them a moment to talk about what's coming up in the postgame. That might not happen for a while. 11:50 left to go here in the third period of contact. 36-17, the shots on goal. Central Oklahoma on the power play. In the middle of the ice between the blue line. Hanging on to it. Bond. Trying to get it out. They do for a moment. Central Oklahoma not able to enter the zone. Now they do. On the far side, Nolan, the first one there, tries to lift it up. Now getting home to help him out. Now Dakota Bond stepping over from the left side of the ice to the right side of the ice, and then sent away by Bond. 3 new skaters on the ice for Adrian. 30 seconds left to go in the advantage. An errant pass for the Broncos as they're forced to try and clear it along the length of the ice. Two-line pass from the goaltender. Back over. Into the side. Now paddled in, and Cottonies makes another save. He paddled one, and it left it right in the breadbasket where Central Oklahoma was able to take a quick stop, but luckily the Cottonies had a leg pad down. 5 seconds left in the advantage for Central Oklahoma. Back down low. Guys with it. Into the middle. Penalty expired. Shenko on the ice for the Bulldogs, and Central Oklahoma now 0 for 3 on the power play. Another shot. This one misses. Off by Shenko. Shenko gets it out of the zone. Central Oklahoma keeps it. Hanging on to it there was Becky. Becky wrapped it around. Now Mott with it. 10:15 left to go here in the third period of play. Tope has it. Tope into the middle. Turnover on the defensive side of the puck. Now Spoke. Now Spate goes over to Mott. Mott on the far side of the ice. Whips on the clear attempt. Has to go back to Tope, who's behind the Cottonies. The Cottonies had it watched in front of them, but the Central Oklahoma offense has done a good job of not letting the Bulldogs escape their defensive zone. Still in the defensive zone. Toth goes over to Mott. Mott back into the middle of State. State finally gets it out to Central Oklahoma. Supposed to take a line change. There's Connor Smith. He takes a shot. It was blocked. It off the side of the net. Nothing coming of it as the Smith went down. Huck in the middle. Back into the neutral zone now and on the right wing side for Central Oklahoma. Moran takes a shot. It hits off of the pad of the Cottonies and goes into the protective netting. We'll see a face-off here with 9:31 left to go in the third period of action. Shots on goal, 36-18 in favor of Adrian, but Central Oklahoma is starting to knock on the door. Bulldogs looking to advance to the semifinal here in back-to-back years, and really even more so. And trying to continue the trend of success as there was a scrum at the right dot. Back over. Trying to tip it out. Nothing going for the Bulldogs as the Desiree is the first one in. And Cheese as he goes by from his teammate. 9:10 left to go here in the third period of play. Vaughn has it missed, and then Thornton helps him out, but it doesn't go out of the zone. Still down low. Korea into the middle, but it's blocked by Desiree. Picked up by Alkin, who has a lone goal that came with 96 seconds left in the second period. That's the only goal they've had. The defense goes for the changes. Desiree and Armstrong off, and 3 new defensemen on. Bond with it. Bond pushes it out of the zone. Central Oklahoma still pressing, just haven't been able to create many shot attempts. The defense has been good, but they stayed in the zone. Overall takes an extra lap. 8:20 left to go in the contest. 3-1 is our score here on ACTV. Happy to have you along for this one. Not kidding here on site. Alex Herman, Reagan Patowski is back in Adrian for the studio shows that we have going on. 8 minutes now left to go in counting. Central Oklahoma, with every minute whining, is getting closer and closer to seeing their season end. Adrian trying to extend it by one more game. Winner advances to the semifinals tomorrow. The game will either be played at 4:45 or 8 p.m. Over to Bond. Bond to fight. Back to Bond. Bond takes the touch back in on the offensive attack on the left wing side of the ice. And with 7:30 left to go, Central Oklahoma gets it back. Into the middle of the ice. Now with it. Another shot in. The Cottonies has it go off of his paddle, and then he makes the decision to cover, so it'll be a face-off in the right wing side. 7:22 left to go here in period number 3. UCO, the big letters on the front of the jersey for Central Oklahoma. Really need something to give here and get this game within 1. They keep trying, but the Bulldog defense has been sound thus far, only giving up the 1 goal. It was a beautiful shot from Donald Alkin from the blue line, the middle of the ice, the top of the slot, if you will. And now it's on the near side board, right in front of us here. In the stands, the Adrian College stands, as they serve as the home team, we sit right across the line. And there's a delayed call coming, and Adrian is going to head back to the penalty box. This is going to be a really important call because it's a 2-minute cross-checking call. And Adrian now has to get the PK unit out there to try and prevent this game from becoming a 1-goal game. Player went down. It looks like they're okay, so we'll make sure. It looked like it was David Burton who went down. Off on his own power, but did need a little bit of help. Big 56 left to go. Gajewski's going to get charged with a penalty. It's only a 2-minute minor, so that's all UCO has to work with. Armstrong rifles it down the length of the 200 feet. And with 6:45 left to go, the Bulldogs are on their heels. UCO trying to get back within one. They've had the offensive zone time here in the third period, but nothing to show of it as it goes into the Bulldog bench. It's off of a Broncos zone. It will be a neutral zone faceoff. A really important spot for this faceoff off, as it's right in front of the Bulldog bench. Faceoff won by State. Passer lifted into the neutral zone. Back on the hands of the Bronco, and it's wrapped all the way around the board. Split check on for UCO. It's screwed away and then kept in for a moment by Nikolov, and then sent out. National State has it. State on the breakaway. Takes a shot. Delayed ball coming on the Broncos. Broncos going to get called for a penalty here. And this is going to be a hooking call, and it's going to be 4-on-4 hockey for the next minute and 14 seconds. That means the Broncos are now 0 for 4 on the power play. Adrian will get a shot at the power play for about 45 seconds or so. And now the ice opens up quite a bit. There's 6:10 left to go in the contest. JC Becky is going to get called for the hook. Faceoff will be on the left-hand side of the ice for the Bulldogs. Trying to figure out who's going to make it to the semifinals in this year's national tournament. Liberty already punched their ticket. Adrian and UCO trying to punch theirs, and we'll still await the games between Ohio and Jamestown and Minot State and Indiana Tech coming up later today here at the New England Sports Center. Into the far side of the ice, Bulldogs on their heels. The Broncos with it. Nolan trying to get out of the zone. UCO didn't see where it was. We're 4-on-4 for the next 40 seconds. And that's that game from Brody Thornton, and we'll see a face-off in the left circle. Bulldogs have a 2-goal lead, 4-on-4. You got to think benefit Adrian. They've been able to use their speed quite a lot, but one thing that UCO has done so good is answer and match the skill that Adrian has brought to the ice. We saw a second period that was dominated by Adrian, scoring all their goals in the second period. And then UCO coming out in the third and really giving it to the Bulldogs as much as they can. So a really important second period where Adrian had those 3 goals, because now they hold that 2-goal lead. And with 30 seconds left of 4-on-4 hockey, UCO takes a shot from beyond the blue line. It just misses. And it stays with him. Burton with it. Burton lost it to Bond at his own blue line. Now going back over to Stanko. Stanko taking his time with it just as the end of his pick tape as Dylan Kent finds it. Kent into a forward position, goes over to DeJulio, but can't get it as he's tied up with the Broncos. Bond with it. Bond sends it in. As the Bulldogs return to full strength, they'll go on the power play for 45 seconds. Pass in. Dylan Kent with it. Kent leaves it behind for Bond. Bond with it, and Kent and Bonner will go for a change. Kent stays on the ice. Bench calling for him, but trying to break out are the Bulldogs. They still have a power play here for the next 20 seconds. 4:30 left to go in the contest. Colt has it behind the net. Breakout play on again. Long pass over to the far side with Gajewski. Gajewski's wrapping around, takes a quick shot and glove save by the goaltender, Ben Helst, and another good save at that. 4:16 left to go. Coach Estalo's on the bench, standing on the bench, pointing at the clock, saying, hey, there's only 7 seconds left. If they win the faceoff, one of the defensemen has to get back and watch for this quick pass for the breakaway. UCO would love a quick chance at a score. 3 seconds left. UCO gets it back. Can they clear the zone? They can't. 5-on-5 hockey once again. The Bulldogs now 1 for 4 on the power play. 4 minutes left to go in the contest. 3-1 is our score here on ACTV. Another shot in and over top. The goaltender Bells will make the save, and we'll see a face-off on the right wing side of the ice. All new forwards coming in for the Bulldogs, and the defenseman changing out for Central Oklahoma. 3:56 left to go here. UCO wins the faceoff. Now they have a chance to break it out. They will. Heading in with some speed here is Daria on the far side. Takes a hit into the boards and goes into the Bulldog bench. Long pass icing called, but it looked like it might have been won by Adrian. Either way, the official blew the whistle, and now it's going to go all the way back into the defensive zone of the Bulldogs. They'll have to fight here with 3:35 left to go in the 3-1 hockey game. .335 left to go. Bulldogs win the faceoff in their defensive zone, and now back with Burton. Burton pushes it up to McCallum. McCallum takes a shot off the chest pad of Tecotney. Bulldogs pressuring to Cesare. Pins his man along the board. Needs some help from Armstrong, and Mott, he gets it. Mott wraps it around the board. Bulldogs bench ferocious in their support for their team. 3:10 left to go here in regulation. The Bulldogs have it, trying to clear it away. Broncos with it at the blue line. Walking in, takes a shot in front of the middle of the ice. That was Skies who couldn't get a good stick on it, and then a big hit into the boards once again. Armstrong and Skies down on the ice. It's pinned along the board. Now it's on the dash. The board breaks out and then taken away by Armstrong right after he gets back up on his skate. 2:50 left to go here. Starting to pay attention to the Central Oklahoma goaltender as they are down by 2, and it is win or go home here in this game. Smith forces the Broncos to their left side, and then it's sent back in. Smith, once again, this time forcing him to the right, but he's there first and able to pin the board. Oklahoma. Broncos, long stretch pass, doesn't connect. Oklahoma gives it up to Ashton Smith with it. Backhand pitch into the offensive zone, and first one in for the Bulldogs was going to be Ethan Clemens, but now Central Oklahoma with it. Broncos have it. Lost to Thornton. Thornton goes up to Smith. Smith gets hit into the boards, but it's kept in by UCO. Under 2 minutes. There goes the goal. 6 skaters for Central Oklahoma, down by 2 goals. They need a quick one here as it's found by Smith. Smith takes a shot the length of the ice. They'll take the icing here, though, as it was a race for it still by Donald Elkin, trying to keep as much time preserved as possible. Neither team using their timeout yet. As a change happening for Central Oklahoma. Adrian can't use their teams on the icing. And with 1:42 left to go, Central Oklahoma 6 on 5. Here, the shots on goal 40-20. Oklahoma trying to find themselves a goal here. Bulldogs win the faceoff, but it's kept in at the right point. Then it falls out of the zone. All 6 Bulldogs have to exit the zone and then re-enter it. Back behind, this one is on goal, and Dakota Bond with the silence with 1:24 left in this third period of play. 4-1 is the score. An empty net goal by Dakota Bond, his 11th of the season. Timeout taken by by Central Oklahoma. And with that timeout, we'll send it back to the studio to get a preview of what's coming up in the postgame show. Welcome back here to Marlboro, Massachusetts. Minute 24 left to go in the contest. The score 4-1 in favor of the Adrian College Bulldogs as they try and punch their ticket to the semifinal in back-to-back years. Minute 15 left to go here. Bulldogs have it. Central Oklahoma trying to clear it away. That one's hit off the top of the glass and out of the zone. 1 minute left to go here in this final frame of action. Armstrong has it. Shot. Bond has to try and clear it away. The Cottonies coughed up a little bit of a rebound, but had enough players around him to get it away. 50 seconds left. The next still 1-2-6 on 5 here in the final 47 seconds. There's just going to be an icing call on Central Oklahoma, and a really important one because it sends it all the way back to their defensive zone, and they'll keep the goalie out here. They are going to rely on winning the faceoff. Nope, as I said, they will send the goalie back out. Maybe? Yes, they will with the defensive zone draw. Goalie comes back out. And with 46 seconds left, Bulldogs trying to advance to the semifinal. Behind. 30 seconds left. Getting ready for the post-game show. Talking about this one and then potentially who the Bulldogs could be playing next. It might be those pesky Liberty Flames and maybe some others. The Bulldogs are going to be paying close attention to the final two games tonight here with 10 seconds left to go. And check out ACHA.org to find out more about what is upcoming for the Bulldogs in the semifinal matchup. 2 seconds left. The Bulldogs are going to win this game by a score of 4-1, and they advance to the semifinals. Their opponent yet to be determined here in Marlboro, Massachusetts. And what a game. I'll have more of you here from Boston when we join the postgame show. But as for right now, Bulldogs win by a score of 4-1. Shots on goal 41-20 in favor of the Bulldogs. And they absolutely dominated this game. Central Oklahoma tried to make it interesting, but just couldn't get that offense going. Noah DeCottney stands strong in net. With that, we'll send it over to the postgame show. Alex Herman, Reagan Petrowski, back in Adrian.
Well, thanks so much, Matt. Unbelievable game, and the result that the Bulldogs were looking for, they skated away this afternoon with a huge win over the University Central Oklahoma Broncos with a score of 4-1. And really, at this point in the tournament, things just starting to get underway. The Bulldogs will advance to the semifinal round. They will face off the winner between UNLV, the University of Las Vegas, or their rival, the Liberty University Flames. So either team that they're going to wind up facing off against extremely strong opponents, their work really cut out for them for the rest of the way. But a good job by Adrian today, taking down number 6 UCO. And after that full 60-minute game, Reagan, what did you think that the Bulldogs did right to get them to the spot where they are now?
Well, doing all the little things and obviously found the back of the net. Like you see, 2 of their goals came from getting bodies in front of the net and making sure the goalie couldn't screen or or couldn't see, redirecting the puck and also chasing after rebounds, and even if they're not going in, just giving a little pressure to the goalie. I think their PK did pretty well. I'm not positive of the stats. We can talk about that in a bit. But just special teams worked pretty hard tonight as well and showed in the score.
I definitely think that they did a great job battling on both ends of the ice. They did a great job in the O zone as well as the D zone. Noah DeCottney's another standout performance for him after 60 minutes, only having to see 19 shots, but some of those coming from really dangerous areas of the ice. UCO definitely generated some good offense, and on the other way, it's Ben Keschel who stopped 35 out of 38, so a good afternoon for him as well, and unfortunately will be making the long bus ride back to campus this afternoon as the Broncos season's now ended on the hands of the Adrian College Bulldogs. And we'd like to take the second to thank Matt Kibbe for calling the game way out in Marlborough, Massachusetts. It's always a pleasure to have one of our favorite announcers on ACTV provide us with some coverage. Matt, what did you see after 60 minutes of play?
Doing a really good job offensively, but the really solid thing that I think this team is going to take from this game is the adjustments they made defensively in the third period when Oklahoma started to press in front of the net. DeCottney stood tall. We knew that was going to be the case. He's such a good goaltender for this team. And for head coach Darius Salas, he's got to be happy with how good his team has looked this tournament so far. An 8-1 victory on Friday, and then now a 4-1 victory here on Sunday, in a really good chance to move on and make it again to another national championship game. And it's because of the defensive stand. And we always say it's a testament, Alex, is defense wins championships, and when you have a goaltender as good as Noah DeCottney, and you have a defensive front in front of them that is willing to put the body on the line, you got a recipe for success.
So we know now it's either UNLV or Liberty, Matt. Which either of those teams that they play, they've seen before. Liberty, they've played 4 times this season and have split all 4 of those games, won 2 and lost 2 as well. Whether it's Liberty or UNLV, what do you think that the Bulldogs are going to have to do going forward?
Well, here's the fun thing for you, Alex. That Liberty-UNLV game was the 10-15 game today. So right before this game, we already know who won that. Liberty ended up winning that game. But here's the interesting thing in the ACHA tournament. When you go into the ACHA tournament, the Final Four, when you get to the semifinal matchup, they actually go through a reseeding. So it's always going to benefit the higher seed. So there is potential that Adrian could play the 5 Liberty tomorrow, or we could see them even face maybe the 7 seed or even the 8 seed, because Minot State and Ohio, the 1-2, have games coming up here later this afternoon. So it's not necessarily for sure exactly who we're going to be seeing, but it's either going to be, if the high seeds continue the trend that they have this tournament, which is win the games, the high seed has won every single game so far, then Adrian would most likely be taking on Ohio. It would be a 2-3 matchup in the semifinal because Minot State would end up getting the 5 seed, the lower seed in Liberty.
Do you think that the Bulldogs have any advantage over some of the other teams simply just because the teams that have the possibility to advancing, obviously we know that Liberty is one of those teams. They've played them before. It could either be Ohio or Indiana Tech, 2 other teams that the Bulldogs have seen this season. Do you think they're at an advantage over any of the other squads because they're more familiar with their potential opponents?
I think the only team that Adrian really might not want to see, just because they're not as familiar with them, is Minot State. But even then, Minot State is somebody that they have seen quite a few times in this tournament, so they wouldn't be afraid of playing them. Obviously, nobody's afraid of playing anybody. You want to play the best competition. But I do think in this case, the Bulldogs are going to want to see as many as familiar faces as they can. I think you might be a little tired of playing Liberty this season already. I've played them 4 times, 1 time at your barn, 1 time on the road. But as for Ohio and Jamestown, even Indiana Tech, if Jamestown and Indiana Tech can get an upset win, I think you're ecstatic if you're the Bulldogs because you're so familiar with playing those teams.
Well, either way, they know that they have their work cut out for them. They did a great job on both ends of the ice tonight. We saw 4 goals for the Bulldogs. Tyler Fife, Sebastian Smith, Mateo DiGiulio, and Dakota Bond all able to find the back of the net and help skate the Bulldogs to a 4-1 victory. Noah DeCottney's, as always, backstopping Adrian College. And any closing thoughts going into tomorrow, Matt?
I'm excited for tomorrow. I think it's going to be another good matchup as we await what's going to happen later tonight. And my final thought is good luck the women's Division I team. They're taking on Liberty in the semifinal matchup later tonight at 7 o'clock.
Be sure to tune into that on Hockey TV to cheer on the Lady Bulldogs this afternoon. The Adrian College has 3 teams in the national tournament, the Men's Division I, Women's Division I, and Women's Division II. We're all hoping for as good as results as possible in the tournament. And once again, ladies and gentlemen, Alex Herman, Reagan Petrowski, Matt Kibbe on ACTV. We thank you so much for tuning in and look forward to seeing you again sometime soon.
Tuesday, April 6, 2021, I was sitting in my office and an email popped into my inbox from someone in your graduating class today. The email said, "Dear President Docking, back in August I had emailed you in regards to the state of the well-being of the campus community during the COVID spike. At that time, I was incredibly anxious about the prospect of spending my senior year of college sitting at my kitchen table in my hometown trying to finish my seminar projects in the event we switched to all online learning. As I type this email now in April, I cannot describe to you the gratitude that my fellow students and I have for Adrian remaining open on campus for the duration of the school year. I wanted to take the time to thank the Adrian College community, the faculty, the staff, for allowing us to have as normal of a year as possible in a world that simply did not want that to happen. I look forward to walking across the stage in May knowing that I was still able to enjoy time with my friends and the Bulldog community during my senior year. All the best, Max Birmingham, class of 2021. Max, you've got to stand up so we can give you a round of applause. For those of us on this stage, today is one of the most exciting days of the year. We love to see the wonder and anticipation in the eyes of our new students as all of you anxiously await all of the amazing experiences that will define the years ahead.